All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we do a little preview of Niners Cardinals and a final update before week 3 49ers action. The Niners playing the home opener on Sunday, week 3 underway, and the Niners will wear the all-white throwback. So let's talk a little bit about all the news in Niner land, and we'll take a look at the matchup. First, Adrian Martinez on Saturday has been elevated from the practice squad to the game day roster. So he's not currently on the 53-man roster, which means Brock Purdy will not be quarterback 3 against Arizona. Purdy could start and be QB1. He could be the backup and be QB2. 90 minutes before kickoff, the Niners must submit their list of inactives, but Adrian Martinez got the elevation from the practice squad to the game day roster. Now, Spencer Burford has been placed on the IR. That means he's out a minimum of 4 weeks. They're saying that knee surgery potentially is in his future. The 49ers did not elevate offensive tackle Brandon Parker from the practice squad. So Burford is the 49ers' top swing tackle. Niners really didn't have a swing tackle. Burford was the backup at left tackle. Pleasance was the backup at right tackle. So now Austin Pleasance will have to be the backup at both tackle spots. And, can Pleasance play left tackle? We're going to find out. Well, hopefully we're not going to find out. Hopefully Trent Williams plays the entire game and we won't find out. But Austin Pleasance will be that third tackle in week 3. Also on Saturday, Malik Turner was elevated from the practice squad. This is interesting as well. Now, Turner's got special teams value, more special teams value than maybe a Russell Gage. Juwan Jennings' status, he's listed as questionable. He did not practice all week. It would not be a surprise if JJ actually went and played in this game despite not practicing all week. The Niner wide receivers right now for this game are slated to be Ricky Pearsall, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, Kendrick Bourne, Sky Moore, and we'll see. Either Russell Gage or Malik Turner or possibly Juwan Jennings. So we'll see who that 5th wide receiver is. Hopefully it's Jennings. If it's not Jennings, it'll either be Gage or Malik Turner, and I think it's most likely to be Malik Turner. Jordan Watkins, by the way, has a calf injury, so he's going to be out several weeks. They're saying maybe 4 to 6 weeks for Jordan Watkins before he can return. So that was a bad break for the 49ers as well. Also on Saturday, the 49ers did not give a practice squad elevation to Nick Zakelj. So Nick Zakelj was not activated from the practice squad. Connor Colby's got a groin injury. He's listed as questionable. I think he's probably going to go. He's got 50 career starts at Iowa. When you've made 50 career starts, that generally means that you've played hurt. And so I think he's going to figure out a way to gut it out. If Connor Colby cannot play guard, it looks like it's either going to be Matt Hennessy, who's been the backup at center, who did once start at left guard, or potentially Drew Moss, the undrafted rookie free agent from Colorado State. I know he's a favorite of Chris Forster. Ben Barch was placed on the IR earlier this week, so he's out a minimum of 4 weeks. And immediately there was Connor Colby getting hurt in Thursday's practice. So it will be. I think it's going to be Connor Colby. If it's not Connor Colby, it could be Drew Moss or Matt Hennessy. Obviously, Moss is more inexperienced, but Hennessy has been playing at center and not guard. So we'll see what direction they go. I think it's going to be Connor Colby out there. That would be my guess. The 53-man roster spot, there is a 53-man roster spot now open for the 49ers. So they can do something with it. Potentially the Niners are anticipating the return of Demarcus Robinson, who will return from his 3-game suspension in week 4. So that's kind of the latest from the roster. Now let's talk about some of the keys to the game. And before we do, let's tell you that we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. And they do run out. So get there early, get some brisket chili. Say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Krug sent you. We're also brought to you by Claw Daddy Arcades, who sent us to New Orleans. Claw Daddy's a great follow on Instagram at claw_daddy_arcades. He's got a brand new arcade location open right now inside Capitola Mall. So check that out. And 49er football this season on the Krug Show is presented by Sleeper, the fastest growing fantasy platform in the world. It's a one-stop shop. You get blazing fast news, real-time stats, group chats, season-long leagues, and of course, Sleeper picks. For daily fantasy, use the promo code Larry, and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Links in the description. Terms and conditions do apply. All right, let's talk a little bit about the 49ers and the Cardinals in this matchup. So, I think the first thing is you got to figure out how you're going to defend Kyler Murray. Murray's won his last 3 trips to Levi's Stadium, and partly because he keeps doing, he completes a high percentage of his passes, and he also has the ability to run. And the 49ers have had, and he's gashed the 49ers for big plays, both with his arm and his legs. And the Niners have had a hard time rushing him and figuring out the best way to put pressure on Kyler Murray without giving him obvious run lanes. So to me, that's where this game plan has to start. It starts on the defensive side. You got to rush Kyler with a well-coordinated 4-man rush. Nobody can get out of their lane. You can do twists and stunts and that kind of thing in games up front, but you can't give him an obvious run lane because if you do, he'll take it. So that's number one. Number two is I think when you do blitz him, and I think you got to blitz him a little bit. Niners are blitzing about 21% of the time this year. Yeah, I think you got to do it with some smaller bodies. I'd like to see Upton Stout or Tig Brown, maybe a corner, maybe a safety. He's such an athletic guy who breaks down in space that these guys that are 270 or more have a hard time just ever getting to Kyler Murray. And even if they get to him, they have a hard time bringing him to the ground. So if you're going to blitz him, and I would on some key third downs, blitz him with smaller people. They got a pretty good combo of running backs. James Conner's the vet. Trey Benson is the youngster. Benson's got the home run hitter ability. They both have pretty good size. Conner's a big, hulking running back. You got to go low on these guys. You got to go low. You got to bring more than one hat to the party, and you got to wrap up. Really as simple as that. Fourth key to this game offensively for Mac Jones is just take care of the ball. Mac Jones won in week 2 because he took care of the ball. He only had the one fumble. If he can replicate that and repeat that in week 3, the Niners are going to win the game. I think offensively, the game plan is pick on the Cardinals' pass defense. They got a bunch of corners who are dinged up or out. They're not going to play great pass defense. Now, to do that, you're going to have to block Baron Browning and Josh Sweat. They've got 2 really good defensive ends. You're going to have to chip those guys. That duo has combined for 19 pressures in the first 2 games. Sweat's on the top of his game. Browning is an undersized defensive end, converted linebacker. They're going to put a lot of speed out there for Trent Williams and Colton McKivitz, and I think the Niners are going to have to help their tackles in this game. If you're Mac Jones, I think the target is the middle of the field. I think the numbers show that. Opposing quarterbacks against Arizona on throws over the middle of the field so far, 34-45. So that's 75% for 367 yards and a touchdown. You can make plays against the Cardinals in the middle of the field. I think the other big key in this game is just make fewer mistakes in Arizona. Let Arizona make all the mistakes. Arizona is the NFL's second most penalized team right now. They're averaging over 10 penalties per game. They're giving away 75 free yards per game. Let them continue to make mistakes. Be the cleaner game. Be the cleaner team. Play the cleaner game. I think if you're going to pressure Arizona, you really want to target their guards. Evan Brown and Isaiah Adams have allowed 6 pressures. I think the Niners in this game, I'd love to see them commit to the run and play complementary football. I know the Cardinals have 3 corners out, but if you can play complementary football, I think that's the route to go. Why? Because the Niners have the NFL's 3rd youngest defense. And, teams against Arizona have fallen behind in the first 2 weeks. Arizona's opponents have averaged only 17 rush attempts against them in the first 2 weeks because Arizona's playing so well in the first half. They're getting a lead, and then they're taking away an opponent's rushing attack. Well, the Niners roll in running it 31 times a game and looking to run it more efficiently and better than they have in the first 2 games. So I think if you're the 49ers, you got to commit to the run, which means you got to get on the board and not fall behind. And then you got to win on third downs, defensively. you know, I mean, to me, that's the key down. Arizona's got a 40.9% third down conversion rate on offense. That's only 17th best in the NFL. Get off the field on third down. The Niners have been really good under Robert Saleh at getting off the field on third down. So, it's going to be interesting. Arizona's got 54 pass attempts and only 34 rush attempts. So they're 60-40 pass run. They're also the NFL's second worst run blocking team, according to PFF, at 42.8 PFF grade. So interestingly enough, Murray, who's probably the most elusive quarterback in the game, has been pressured on nearly 33% of his snaps, and he's been sacked already 6 times. So to me, putting heat on Kyler Murray is a big, big key in this football game. The Niners defense, to me, if you want to say, give us a couple observations from the first couple of weeks, I think the Niners defense looks faster on all 3 levels. I mean, look at the on the front, you got Bryce Huff, Yatir Gross-Matos, Mikael Williams. They've added a tremendous amount of speed. On that second level, you've got D. Winters. Now they're playing Jair Brown as the big nickel, as a kind of a third jumbo safety, converted, kind of a combo linebacker safety hybrid role. Gives them a ton of speed, major speed advantage. I talked to him about it in the locker room on Friday. Marquise Siegel playing safety with 4.37 speed. Upton Stout at corner has tremendous speed. Jason Pinnock at converted corners got really good speed. So the Niners from last year to this year have added a lot of speed on defense. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what the Niners offensive plan looks like, because Arizona is down their top 3 cornerbacks, but the Niners are banged up at wide receiver. Can the Niners run the ball better against the Cardinals than they ran it against Seattle and New Orleans? The Niners have really struggled to get the run game going. Part of the reason is they're facing a lot of 2-shell defenses, and it's really hard to get the explosive run that kind of changes the look of what you did for the day. So we'll see if the Niners can run it more effectively against Arizona. We will be watching the Niners wearing the all-white 1994 throwbacks. Arizona will be in all red. Sunday is the first official day of fall, but it's also, probably going to be a warm day in Santa Clara. It always seems like it is. And it's going to be interesting to see if the 49ers, have more gas late in the game than they did last year in this matchup. So for the Niners, they come back to Levi's for their first home game of the season. It's the 68th all-time matchup between the two teams. The Niners lead the all-time series 36-31, 20-15 at home. Niners are a 1.5 favorite in this game. The over-under set at 43.5 in some spots, 44 in others. Fox has the broadcast. Adam Amin, Mark Sanchez, and Christina Pink on the call. By the way, this is the 4th time the Niners have started 2-0 under Kyle Shanahan since he took over in 2017. They reached at least the NFC Championship game in each of the previous 3 times that it's happened. We should tell you on the radio side, on the 49ers radio network, Guy Haberman sits in for Greg Papa. He'll be alongside Tim Ryan on the call. What has been the themes early on for the 49ers? One is that Robert Saleh has been tremendous. The addition of Saleh, the reacquisition of Saleh, I mean, it's exactly what the doctor ordered. The Niners last year finished 28th in yards after catch EPA allowed. That was under Nick Sorensen. Through 2 weeks this year, the Niners are number 1 in the NFL at defending yak. So what is that? Is that Robert Saleh? It's hard to say exactly, but I think it's probably Robert Saleh. It's a young defense. It's the 3rd youngest defense in the entire league, and yet Saleh's getting them to look really, really good. A couple other 49er notes that we wanted to pass along to you guys as well. Just looking at some of last week's Saints game, the O-line pressures allowed against the Saints. Brendel allowed 4, McKivitz 1, and also a sack. Pooney 1, Trent 0, Connor Colby 0, Ben Barch 0. Connor Colby was phenomenal. He had 36 pass blocking opportunities, did not allow a single pressure. Niners had a pass block win rate last week of 80.8%. Was the 4th best among all teams playing in week 2. And it was their best as a team since the 2022 season finale in Las Vegas. So Connor Colby stepped in for Ben Barch, and he had a 100% clean sheet, 100% on 35 pass block sets. It was 19 true pass sets, 0 sacks, 0 pressures, 0 hurries. Pretty good. 73.1 pass blocking grade for Colby. So he looked good. He definitely looked good. Another theme is that D. Winters is looking great. Him and Fred Warner were absolutely amazing against the Saints. Fred Warner had 11 tackles, a PBU, a TFL, a forced fumble. He had a 95.1 PFF grade. D. Winters wasn't a whole lot worse. He had 8 tackles, 21 yards allowed on 5 targets, 90.2 coverage grade. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I think that's a real positive for the 49ers. The big question for the Niners today is going to be, is JJ going to play? Is Jawan Jennings going to go? I'm really eager to see. I'm also eager to see how much everybody winds up playing in this game. Just looking at some of the snap counts for the 49ers defensive line. Nick Bosa last week played 59 snaps. Mikael Williams second with 48. Jordan Elliott third with 37. Kalia Davis was fourth with 34. Sam O played 28. Bryce Huff 28. Alfred Collins 24 snaps. Yatir Gross-Matos 17. CJ West played 13. So Huff was absolutely amazing. Had a tremendous game and had the game-winning pressure there at the end, which was caused the forced fumble. Will we see more of Brian Robinson? Last week, Christian McCaffrey played 55 snaps. Robinson only played 16 snaps. That's something to watch for as well. How much does Brian Robinson, can the Niners get Brian Robinson, going? That would be great. It would be great to see. And then Mac Jones is most likely going to start. He's been good. He looked really good. He's in the first year of a 2-year deal. Second year pays him $1.4 million a year, and the estimated cap hit of $2.2 million when you factor in bonuses and all that. I don't know if the Niners, what they're going to do with Mac Jones, but he was great on third down against the Saints. 121 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, a 132.3 passer rating. He was 26 of 39 for 279 and 3 touchdowns for the day with a 113.1 passer rating. So Mac looked good. And, hopefully he can replicate what he did in week 2. So, it's, to me, this is an interesting matchup. Can the 49ers, do the 49ers attack Arizona by running it at them and trying to play complementary football, protect their defense a little bit, win the time of possession? Or do they look at a team that has corners that are down and is susceptible to pass plays in the middle of the field and just attack through the air? They attacked on the ground in week 1, and they really attacked using McCaffrey quite a bit as a receiver in week 2. What do we get in week 3? I think defensively, this is going to be the biggest challenge yet for the young Niner defense, because you got to be disciplined when you're rushing Kyler Murray. You got to make sure that when you do blitz him, you're blitzing him with some smaller people. And then when you do get back there, you got to break down in space well, and you got to bring him to the ground. So I like the Niners to win this game. I think it's going to be 49ers taking care of the football, making fewer mistakes, fewer penalties, fewer turnovers. And I think 49ers are going to win the game. I'm going to say 24-14, a 10-point win for the 49ers. It won't be perfect. There'll be some low points, but you know what? I think the 49ers are doing a lot of good things on both sides of the ball. And I think a 10-point win in the home opener is probably what I can envision there. That's probably how I see that one. I mean, there's always a wild card, and you never know. There's always a chance that something's going to pop up that you're not expecting. But I expect that the 49ers are going to win this game by 10. Also, thanks to Habbas Law, they're at 1-800-INJURED. They will fight to make it right. Omar and Tarek Habbas are great sponsors of the Krug Show. These guys are fantastic attorneys. When you need a great attorney, you want Habbas Law. They're fierce. They're relentless attorneys. They don't back down until justice is done. They battle and beat insurance companies with regularity. When you need someone in your corner, call the firm insurance companies hope you never call, and that's Habbas Law, Habbas law.com on the web. They will fight to make it right. Once again, habbaslaw.com on the web, 1-800-INJURED. Great attorneys, and thanks to Habbas Law for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. I will say the wild card factor in this game is going to be James Conner. Can they stop James Conner? James Conner has struggled in the early part of the year. He's looked a little bit old. If the Niners can shut down James Conner and not let Arizona run the ball effectively, I think they're going to be able to defend Kyler Murray in the pass game very effectively. So James Conner, the wild card factor, the Habbas Law wild card factor for week 3, James Conner, the running back of the Arizona Cardinals. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Sleeper and Habbas Law. Thanks to all of you for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.